What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and I have a little bit of a different video today. I think what I'm going to do is maybe start a change.org petition. I've seen so many people in my comments telling me, TK, it's really not Tim Kuniskis' fault. TK, Tim can only do what Stellantis lets him do, and the EU regulations are going to keep them holding back the Hemi, or they're only going to come out with this 5.2 Magnum, and it's not going to be what the public wants. I'd even be happy with the 5.2 Magnum, the dual overhead cam Magnum. I'd be fine with that. Seeing what they're doing now and the constant drama and issues with the Hurricane engine, wiring harnesses, and everything else, it's just time for a change, man. So maybe we hit a change.org petition, and I'm going to tell you what I want to petition. Perfect. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. If you hear that rumble in the background, that is the Hemi, something that you can't buy right now. If you have one of these, hold on to it for dear life. But today, I'm going to talk about, and there'll be a link in the description, where I talk about forcing the U.S. government, or having the U.S. government to force Stellantis to break Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram off. Now, I'm not making Stellantis sell their ownership in the company. They can still own it, but it needs to be its own company based here in the United States that is not subject to European Union emissions. Because that is the reason why Stellantis can't build the stuff they want with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram now. Yes, we know. You can delete diesel emissions on diesel trucks now. It's legal. They're rolling back emissions at a minimum to the 90s, but could roll them back as far as the 1970s. There's no reason not to build things that customers want. Stellantis is using the excuse of, oh, it's no longer here. We have great partners in the U.S. It's Europe. Now, I have family that lives in Ireland, and I'm a first-generation American, if that's what you want to call it. And I will say this, but I still will say this, fuck Europe. Sorry. Decisions in Europe should not affect the consumer decisions for me here in America. Period. End of story. That would be like Europe making decisions for our military. Not going to happen. Guarantee it doesn't happen. So why is it happening with our consumer products, with our transportation? Europe should have no say over any mother effing thing that we want to do here in, and I'm going to say it like this, America. All right? They shouldn't. Period. End of story. It's not up for discussion. It's not. It is not up for discussion. We should be able to do whatever the hell we want. If we want to hear this rumble of a Hemi engine, we should be able to hear that. We should be able to enjoy that. We should be able to, as they say in New Hampshire, live free or die. All of this crap of, oh, well, we can't make this because the European Union has got this emission standard on us because we're owned here in Europe. That's fine. Change your office to the United States. And split the company off. Be like Exor is with Stellantis and Ferrari. If Peugeot wants to stay involved, fine, Peugeot. Create an American subsidiary like Exor, and you create a different Chrysler Corporation that is not subject to European Union emissions. If they don't do it, they will fail. They will die as a company. Now, I know you're going to say, well, TK, the Hurricane's only having these issues. It's the first year. Look what happened to the 2015 Tahoes and the Silverados. And okay, yeah, I get it. I understand. The 5.3 was a freaking disaster that first year. Electrical issues, all kinds of issues on the Tahoe. I agree. I know. First-year cars avoid it like AIDS. All right? I understand. That said, even understanding that, it's still not going to get better, right? It's still not going to have the fuel economy. And I know, well, it can still tow just like a Hemi, TK. No, it can't. No, it can't. Stop lying. Well, it's got better torque. It's faster, 0 to 60. Is it? I don't care. Give me the tried and true platform every single time. I don't want to be your lab rat. I don't want to be your lab monkey. Give me the products that I want. And that's what consumers are saying. So I think this is the time. I'm not the only one that said that. There's multiple people in the U.S. government that thinks, especially with Archer Aviation as a defense contractor owned by Stellantis, that Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram should be split off. And I'm talking about Bernie Moreno, the newly elected senator, also from the car industry, Lee Zeldin, the head of the EPA, and the president himself. And I'm sure that conversation was had between John Elkin and Donald Trump, President Trump, that they want to make sure that America is represented here. They're already bringing, I see Stellantis, they're trying. They're bringing back jobs. They're bringing back production. They're opening up Belvedere. They're going to build that mid-sized truck. But it's still not enough. It's not enough. We need, and I know that they were probably considering it anyway. We already know that there's been discussions in board meetings, etc., about them splitting Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram off. But this doesn't need to be a discussion anymore. This needs to happen. It's time for, the government to maybe politely push Stellantis to split Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram off as its own company here in the U.S. They can still own it. They'll still make the profits. But they can't own it directly as Stellantis with a head office in Europe being under European Union emissions. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So, if you care about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, if you want to see Dodge get back to making the products and Ram and Jeep get back to making things that us as Americans want, this is very easy. Go to the change.org petition in the link in the description. And let's let the government know, as Mopar fans, that we want this company, we want Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram split off. We want it to stand on its own in America by itself as its own company under United States emissions, not a foreign country. A foreign country or land should not be making decisions on what we do here in America. And I'll die on that hill. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Share this video with everybody you know that is a Mopar fan. Click on the change.org petition. Let's get this to President Trump. Let's get this to the United States government. And let's see if they can politely nudge Stellantis to do the right thing here and let Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram stand on its own. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. And as always, stay petty, my friend.